Most people wait too long to buy in Palm Springs, and when they finally feel ready, the home they wanted is already out of reach. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If Palm Springs is even a future retirement idea for you, waiting until you're ready to live here full-time is usually the most expensive mistake people make. I'm Glen Nadeau, and in this video, we'll explore why buying a Palm Springs starter home now can quietly set you up for the next 10 to 20 years, even if you won't live here for another 10 years, and why the people who do this early almost always end up with more options, less stress, and a much smoother transition later. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below. Let's dive in. Most people who end up living in Palm Springs waited too long to buy here, and almost every one of them tells me the same thing after the fact. They say, we should have done this years ago, not because they missed out on a deal, not because they mistimed the market, but because by the time they felt ready, the version of Palm Springs they wanted to buy into had already moved on. Sometimes relocation buyers come to Palm Springs asking the wrong question. They ask, are we ready to move right now? Does this make sense for us this year? Should we wait until retirement? But their framing is the problem, because Palm Springs is not a place people move to impulsively. It's a place where people grow into. The real question isn't whether you're ready to live here today, it's whether you want Palm Springs to be the option in your future, 5, 10, or even 20 years from now. This isn't really about the sunshine or even escaping winter next year. This is about optionality for savvy investors. Palm Springs is a lifestyle market, and a lifestyle market rewards people who think ahead. The buyers who feel the most calm and confident later are usually the ones who quietly secure their place earlier, before emotion and urgency took over. One of the biggest misunderstandings I see is around timing. People assume that waiting is the responsible choice. They think staying flexible means staying out of the market. But in Palm Springs, waiting doesn't usually create flexibility. It often reduces it. This market doesn't behave like places where prices swing wildly and then reset. What typically happens here is much quieter, but just as impactful. Inventory tightens, well-located homes disappear, buyers compete harder for fewer good options, and even during slower cycles, Palm Springs remains desirable because it's driven by lifestyle, not just jobs or speculation. That's why I often say very directly to clients who mention retirement, even casually, if you have any real desire to retire in Palm Springs, purchase your retirement home now. Don't wait. Buying early is all about positioning. Don't think of it as Palm Springs starter home as a compromise. Think of it as a leverage. It gives you the foothold in the market that rewards patience over perfection. You're not locking yourself into a forever decision. You're giving yourself control over timing, price, and future choices. And here's where Palm Springs becomes especially unique. In many cases, a well-chosen starter home can be rented out while you're living elsewhere. That rental income can offset a significant portion and sometimes all of the carrying costs. Instead of paying rent somewhere else while hoping prices don't run away from you here, you're letting the home work in the background. Buy the home, rent it out as long as you need, let someone else help pay down the mortgage, let equity build quietly, then move in when life, work, and the emotional timing all line up. The home will be there waiting for you. This approach completely changes the emotional experience of buying. You're no longer chasing a future version of yourself. Instead, you're very much supporting it. There's another piece people tend to underestimate, and that's equity. Over long periods of time, equity in a Palm Springs home can quietly become one of your most powerful retirement assets. Not because of the dramatic spikes, but because of steady appreciation combined with scarcity and demand. Real estate in established lifestyle markets has historically provided a level of reliability that many people don't feel with purely market-based investments. And equity in your future retirement home may end up being more than most people's entire retirement. But there's also an emotional side to this that rarely gets talked about. Most people don't delay buying because they can't afford it. They delay because they don't feel emotionally certain yet. They're waiting for clarity or permission or a moment where it suddenly feels obvious. What actually happens instead is much slower. You visit Palm Springs more often, you start picturing your daily life here, you notice neighborhoods that feel right, you want familiarity, not disruption. Owning early allows that emotional readiness to develop without pressure. By the time you're ready to move, you're not making a leap, you're simply coming home. Let me be very clear about who this approach is actually for, because this is where a lot of people either feel immediate recognition or realize this isn't their moment yet. This strategy makes the most sense for people who already know on some level that Palm Springs is part of their future story. Even if they can't quite picture the timing yet, maybe retirement isn't 10 or 15 years away. Maybe work still ties you to another city. Maybe life just isn't ready to make this shift. But emotionally, Palm Springs keeps showing up for you. This is for people who don't need everything to be perfect before they move forward. People who value optionality, knowing that they've created a landing place for their future, even if they don't need it right away. This approach works especially well for buyers who are tired of watching prices creep up, tired of wondering whether they missed their window. Buying early shifts you from reacting to positioning. It replaces urgency with calm. It also is a great fit if you want your eventual move to Palm Springs to feel intentional. You don't want to arrive stressed, rushed, or forced by circumstance. You want to arrive already familiar with the city, the neighborhoods, the rhythm of the daily, and be confident that you made a thoughtful decision along the way. Now, it's just as important to talk about who this is not for. This probably isn't the right approach if you're looking for a quick win or fast appreciation. Palm Springs isn't a speculative market. In a way, some people expect it to be. It rewards patience, not urgency. It may not be right if you strongly dislike the idea of renting a property, even temporarily, or if managing a home from a distance feels overwhelming rather than empowering. And it's not ideal if you need absolute certainty before making any move at all. And that's okay. Palm Springs will still be here when the timing feels right. But for the people this does resonate with, buying early often becomes the most grounding decisions they make. Not because it's forced anything to happen sooner, but because it simply gave them time. If Palm Springs is even on your horizon, this is worth thinking through now, not later. Most people who reach out to me directly aren't ready to move tomorrow, they just want clarity. So if you're buying, selling, or investing, or quietly planning a future move to Palm Springs or the Coachella Valley, I'm happy to talk it through with you. You can call or text me directly, or use the contact links in the description. No pressure, just perspective. If you haven't yet already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more exciting changes, developments, and opportunities taking place here in Palm Springs and the Coachella Valley. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.